Hey, what's up everyone? Dan Sandwich back again, making another NBA 2K22 video. And I'm returning to this series again, where I took 10 random all-time players from the all-time lists and put them all on one team and resimulated their careers. So in case you missed the last video in the series, I'll put a link in the description, or I might just put something there or something, I don't know. If I don't do that, just look it up. There's not a whole lot of videos on this channel yet. It's not going to be too hard to find. But anyway, this is the team. In case you forgot, we got Luka Doncic, Kevin Durant, Dominique Wilkins, Chris Bosh, Jonas Valanciunas. You can see the rest of the names on this list. Let's see. Can't remember who we didn't draft. I mean, we got some auto-generated rookies on here as well. But basically, so they are a 6-time NBA champion. They had a 1-year gap between championships, between 29 and 31. But yeah, this is going to be the second half of this video and the ending half of this video. So we're going to wrap it up here by simulating the rest of their careers. I'm going to keep it moving. I don't want this to take super long. So first thing I realize I have to do here is extend all their contracts because they're all 1 year left. But so I'm going to do that real quick, and then I'm going to start simulating. So I'll see you at the end of this next season. Again, I've done 10 seasons of this already, so I will be doing at least another 10. Probably, I mean, a lot of these guys, I imagine, will have 20-year careers, but maybe not. So yeah, I'll move it on here, and then I'll catch up with you at the end of the season. Yeah. As you can see, Kevin Durant gathers another MVP award. It's got to be what, his like 5th one, I think. I'll have to double check that. But he has been the MVP of this team for the most of the season we've run. Might be his best numbers yet. Again, I didn't go back and look at all the numbers he did before, but 23, 8, 7, a steal and a half, almost a block and a half, 98% from the free throw line, and then 43 from 3. So pretty good stuff from Kevin Durant. Kind of what we'd expect from him at this point. Let's see. Luka Doncic is on the All-NBA first team, so we haven't seen very many times where, oh wait, that's the wrong Luka Doncic. Never mind. That's the real Luka Doncic, not our Luka Doncic. But yeah, it's been the case where like we only have one All-NBA first team player so far. Anybody on the all defensive team? No. Again, we haven't really seen anybody on the all defensive teams yet. Either. So a lot of good offense, maybe not good everywhere else. How did the team fare this year? 74-8. So yeah, you can see there, the last 3 seasons have been 74-8 every season. So they've been slowly climbing up to that level. Now that they're there, it looks like they're probably gonna stay there for a while. But let's see. Let's simulate the playoffs here to see how they fare. Can they win a championship this year again? Going. Oh wow. Okay, so they actually were eliminated in the second round. That's surprising. By the Miami Heat, who were the eventual champions, led by LaMelo Ball, who. That dude in this game is just insane. Like every time I do a simulation, or if you watch other NBA YouTubers doing simulations and stuff like that, he's always one of the guys who finishes as one of the best players in the NBA. I do want to see if Bradley Beal retired. He did, yeah. If you remember the last video, he was on our team for quite a while. Won a few championships with us. I guess you could say more than a few. So 6 championships with us. So I think that might elevate his status to a Hall of Famer. I think if he wasn't on this team, you know, it's hard to say that Bradley Beal would be a Hall of Famer. Let's see, did he make the Hall of Fame? He did not. Okay, that's surprising. I'm actually really surprised that with 6 championships under his belt, Bradley Beal did not make the Hall of Fame. Granted, he was really only like a key part of those championships, or maybe 2 of them. But still, like you'd think that with his career, that would be enough to make it there. Okay, and I'm actually surprised that we didn't retire his number either, because considering he was on the team for so long. But yeah, okay, so Bradley Beal, you know, a little surprising that he wasn't a bigger part of our future, or I guess our past. I don't know. considering he was such a big part of those championship teams for so long. But yeah, let's move on to player progression. Just gonna keep it rolling, like I said before. Got a lot of seasons to get through. Again, the big thing here is gonna see who is regressing right now. I think in the last video we started to see Tom Gugliotta starting to regress a little bit, and Dominique Wilkins now regressing as well. So he's down to 93. Still a phenomenal player, obviously, but starting to get down a little bit there. Eric Gordon starting to regress a little bit. Yeah, Gugliotta continuing to go down. Jalen Brunson, a guy who we signed quite a while ago, is also starting to regress. And yeah, so we got pretty much starting to slowly trickle down a little bit. I didn't go through free agency, and maybe I should have, but I guess it's not a big deal. Yeah, all right, so yeah, let's go ahead and simulate this season. See if we can get another title under our belt. See if Kevin Durant gets another MVP. Just what's going to happen this year. All right, season number 12 down, and Luka Doncic gets his second MVP award, averaging 11 assists a game. That may not be a free throw record, but 99% from free throw line, pretty phenomenal. So obviously we got Luka Doncic winning his MVP. I forgot to scroll through here and see what the other award winners were. But yeah, Wendell Howard must be our guy. So 75-7, the best season yet, from this team. And, yeah, so obviously the MVP is going to be on the All-NBA first team, alongside his co-star Kevin Durant, who's got a lot more All-NBA first team selections than Luka does. So let's see. And on the All-NBA second team, you have the other Luka Doncic, of course. And then anybody on the all-defensive team? Still no. Okay, no big deal there. Obviously, the first seed with 75 wins, you're gonna be the first seed. Come on, let's get another championship here. Can we make it out of the first round? Okay, they do. Second round, no problem. Third round, okay, and then yeah, okay. So yeah, we got another championship here. Narrowly escaping LaMelo Ball's Miami Heat to win against the Lakers in the NBA Finals, and then Kevin Durant, the Finals MVP. He's got a few of those already as well. So let's move on to the next one. Any player retirements we should be worried about? Nothing yet, obviously. I'm not surprised about that at all. No Hall of Famers in this retirement class, of course. Let's move on to. I'm just gonna skip free agency now because this team, the core is what it's gonna be, and anybody else that we have going on there is not gonna be affected by this. I want this second half to be a little bit more pure than the first half. The first half I did a little bit of meddling to make sure that they could win championships. So this time I'm just going to kind of be a little bit more pure than this, than what we did the first time. Go to player progression, and Wilkins is steadily starting to decline even further. But Bosch is peaked into the 90 overall club. So that's exciting. We got Divac starting to decline a little bit as well. Kirilenko, Eric Gordon going down even further. Gugliotta is now not even an 80 overall. Brunson's down there. Siakam, he's just kind of stayed at 78 for a while. Of course, he didn't get a whole lot of run on this team, so he wasn't going to progress nearly as much as some of the other guys on our team. Not a surprise there. But the top two have stayed steady. And, of course, like Kevin Durant in real life, he hasn't really had any decline in his game. And I'm sure that, Doncic will probably have a similar, arc to his career as well. So let's keep it moving on to season number 13. All right, Kevin Durant gets another MVP again. Not to be outdone by Luka Doncic. It looks like his shooting percentage were even better than Luka's were last year, except for free throws, it looks like. But yeah, nothing outside the normal there. Let's see what else happened. Evan Mobley, another defensive player of the year. 72-10. So a little bit of a drop off over last year, but when you win 75 games, it's kind of hard to go up from there. Once again, nobody from our team other than Kevin Durant on the All-NBA first team. But Luka gets his maybe his first All-NBA second team selection. Looks in the past has either been like he's been on the first team or not at all. Anybody on the all defensive teams? Still no. Again, not a very strong defensive team, this one. I mean, not a bad one, but like no individual, defensive player really shining out. Let's see if they can get another championship here after winning last year. And it looks like that won't be a problem for them, beating the Lakers once again in the finals. Kevin Durant getting another finals MVP. Easy work for him. Anybody retiring yet from our team? Doesn't look like it. Let's move on. Who went to the Hall of Fame this year? Let's see. Giannis and Donovan Mitchell both retired. And of course, their numbers are going to be... oh, wow. Okay, so Donovan Mitchell didn't get his number retired. But Jaylen Brown did. Let's see. Let's move on to player progression. See what this team looks like now that guys are getting into their early 30s. And for the first time, Kevin Durant is starting to decline. Still a 96, so nothing to sneeze at there. And also for the first time, Dominique has left the 90 overall club. We still have 390 overalls now with Chris Bosh being up here. But our third star here is starting to really show his decline. And everyone else is going down too. Eric Gordon is not even an 80 overall anymore. And even Siakam is starting to decline a little bit too. So yeah, things are starting to get a little long in the tooth for these guys. I wonder how many more seasons Wilkins has in the tank. All right, and I believe this is year 14, so let's move on and see where these guys end up. Now the guys are starting to get a little bit worse. All right, now that Luka Doncic has taken the reign as because the overall best player on the team, he has now taken the MVP back as well. I think it's his highest scoring season we've seen from him so far at 23 points per game. But it's probably because he's getting the majority of the touches now if he's the overall best player on the team as well. Let's see where we ended up with 72 and 10 again. So still really great. No problem there. And for the first time, we have 3 guys all on the All-NBA first team with Doncic, Durant, and Bosh. So with Wilkins declining, it seems as Bosh has kind of stepped into that third star role and really shined for the first time in his career so far. So that's great for him. Anything else that we've seen on here? Maybe that means that Bosh was an all... okay, so Durant gets his first all defensive team selection, which is also a little surprising, given that he's 32 years old and wow, given the fact he's 32 years old and now it has prime defensively. So let's move on through the playoffs. See if they get another championship here. First round, no problem. Second round, no problem. Third round, no problem. And the finals, no problem again. They lost 2 games the entire playoffs. So Durant, despite not winning the regular season MVP, gets the finals MVP as usual. Maybe he's starting to save himself for the big show, the finals, a little bit more now. Let's see. Anybody show up on the... Okay, so we have our first retirement. Is Tom Gugliotta. So for his career, not really a huge contributor to this team, averaging 5 points a game, 3 rebounds, an assist. Not really a huge contribution to this team, but he is our first retirement so far. Let's see if anyone else retired from this team. And this guy was a auto-generated guy, and Pascal Siakam also retired as well. He didn't really get much run at all from us. Only 1.5 points a game. Again, he really wasn't on the team much. So not a surprise there. I doubt that Gugliotta or Siakam are going to be in the Hall of Fame, but let's see. Nope. Nikola Jokic and Devin Booker, however, definitely made the Hall of Fame. Any jersey retirements here? No. Yeah, again, those 2 guys, while they were on the team a lot through this whole courses of history, they didn't really contribute much, so obviously their jerseys are not going to get retired. So let's move on to player progression. Again, I'm just going to kind of let this team, not necessarily peter out, but I'm not going to take control of free agency. I kind of want to see where this team goes in the future as those guys start to decline. I think that's a little bit more interesting than trying to build a contender every year, because they have enough championships already. They got 10 championships, so I'm not too concerned about that. And Luka Doncic is starting to decline a little bit after winning his third MVP, I think. He is now the second best player on the team. So Durant and Doncic kind of swapping positions there again. Bosh continues to get better somehow. So he's feeling fresh after that All NBA season, and he's 91 now. And everyone else is starting to decline even further. So not really a surprise there. It'll be interesting to see how much longer this team remains on top, how many more championships they can win, and who might retire this season. I think my money is on a guy like Kirilenko, who's also a little bit older and hasn't played as much on this team. But let's see what happens. And the back and forth between Durant and Doncic MVPs continues. Again, Durant being the best player on the team this year, he gets the MVP again as well. Let's see what we ended up with at the end of the season as far as wins. So it was 71-11. So slowly starting to slip there as well, but still, I mean, when you're racking up 70-win seasons, you can't really go wrong. And once again, we have 3 All-NBA first-team players for the second season in a row, which is pretty awesome. Let's see if we have any All-Defensive team guys. We got 2 for the first time. So Doncic, a guy who in real life is definitely not known for his defense, actually ends up on an all defensive team, which is a big surprise, I think, to a lot of people. Because Durant, you know, he is a solid defender in real life, but really, Luka probably not going to be an All NBA defender. I don't know, who knows? I mean, he definitely has the skill set. But let's see. Yeah, another easy time to the championship. Once again, only 2 losses all playoffs long. And Luka Doncic gets a Finals MVP. I think this is his second one. He hasn't got a lot of those. Not nearly as many as Durant. So let's see who retires this year. If it's anybody from our team. Yeah, so no retirements this year from our team. You know, just for curiosity, who made the Hall of Fame? Karl-Anthony Towns and Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons may not make the Hall of Fame in real life, but he does in this game. And Karl-Anthony Towns gets his number retired with 2 teams, which is interesting. Let's move on to player progression and see where our guys are at the end of this year. All right, and Luka continues to decline. He is now a 92 overall. Still great, but yeah, and then you see Dominique down here as well. Still continue to go down, and everyone who was on our team originally is slowly starting to get there. Eric Gordon now is probably not even making the rotation anymore. So things are starting to go down a little bit. I can see now these guys are on 1-year deals again, so I'm going to go in and extend their contracts one more time probably. I don't know how many more times I'll have to do this, but I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we will see where they end up at the end of this season. And for the first time, and I don't know how many years, the MVP is not a member of our team. So things are starting to go a little bit south for our guys. We got Monty Man, who is an auto-generated player, as the MVP of this year. Anything else happening here? 67-15 was the record on the season. The first time under 70 wins in quite a while as well. Still got 2 guys on the All-NBA first team, so even though they were not MVP caliber, they were still up there in terms of All-NBA. And then let's see, Chris Bosh is on the All-NBA second team. So still a great season out of Chris Bosh and everyone else. Durant still an All-NBA first team, all defensive first team player, and Bosh on the All-Defensive second team. So our guys are still playing really well. It's just that they are starting to decline a little bit there. Let's see if it means anything, though, in terms of the playoff success. And so far, so good. 2 losses in the Eastern Conference Finals to the league MVP, but it didn't even matter because they won another championship behind Luka Doncic, who was the Finals MVP. Let's see if anybody of our team retired this year. Yep, there's Kirilenko and Eric Gordon both retired. Kirilenko, again, didn't really get a whole lot of run on this team. Not very great stats there either. Gordon, though, he probably played a little bit more because, you know, he's had to be our starting shooting guard for some years. So, yeah, a little bit better averages there. 12 points, not a whole lot of assists. His shooting splits, you know, decent as well. he definitely got a lot more run in this team than some of the players. Anybody else on this list retire from our team? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's see if either of those guys made it to the Hall of Fame. I doubt it. There goes the real Luka Doncic, so he won't be terrorizing us anymore. He actually retired as well. Anybody from our team getting their number retired? So Eric Gordon's number got retired, which is interesting because he was definitely more of a role player on that team. So that's interesting that he got his number retired. But that's our first jersey retirement as well from Eric Gordon. Let's move on to player progression and see where the guys are at heading into this season. Who is starting to decline even further. My guess is this might be the last season for Dominique Wilkins. That's my guess. All right, so Durant has held steady at 96 overall. Luka's going down a little bit further now at 91 overall. Dominique slowly just holding tight to that 80 overall spot. And everyone else is starting to get really a lot worse. We started with 10 players. We're now down to 6 from the first 10 that we got. And it's these 6 guys right here. Durant, Doncic, Bosh, Wilkins, Valanciunas, and Divac are the last 6 players remaining from the original 10 that we selected. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. Yeah, Wilkins is 37 and Divac is 36. So those are probably the 2 guys I would say are going to be on the way out the door next, if I had to take a guess. But let's see. Let's go to the next season and see what happens. Money Man is the man once again, winning MVP again. But you know, they were still first in the conference. Let's see where they end up as far as the record goes. 68-14, so a little bit better than last season. Still sure, I'm sure doing really well. Kevin Durant still on the All-NBA first team. Let's see. Luka and Bosh still All-NBA second team. And defensive teams, Durant and Bosh on the all-defensive second team as well. So again, still a great season for these guys. Again, it didn't really matter last season that they fell off a little bit in terms of playoff success. Let's see what happens this year. Can they win another title? Let's see. Are they going to get out of the second round? They don't. All right. So once again, they get knocked out of the second round by Detroit, who doesn't even make it to the finals. And then we have Monty Man's team. Wow. Okay. So they got a 96 overall. And I wonder what Monty Man's overall is as well. They must be really good. Let's see who retired this season. Yeah. And there we are. So Dominique Wilkins and Jonas Valanciunas both retire from the team. I didn't expect Jonas to retire so soon. And so does Vlade Divac. I expected him to retire for sure. Dominique, his career stats looking pretty good. So 25-3, not almost 60% from the field for his career, which is insane. Not a great 3-point shooter in real life either, but shot decently well from there in the simulation. Did he have? I'm sure he made a couple All-Star teams. Yeah, looking at his award history, he was a 4-time All-Star. No All-NBA selections for him, although he was first-team All-Rookie. But yeah, 11 championships for Dominique Wilkins. Pretty good, considering the guy didn't win a championship in real life. But of course, he wasn't teamed up with Kevin Durant and Luka Doncic. So pretty good stuff from Dominique there. I'm sure his number is going to get retired from us as well. Jonas Valanciunas, let's see what his career ended up like. 10 points, 7 rebounds. Shot pretty well. Actually shot better from 3 than Dominique Wilkins did, which he's a decent 3-point shooter in real life. And take a look at Vlade Divac real quick. Again, he mostly came off the bench in his career for us, so his stats aren't going to be nearly as good, I doubt. He never even made a 3 in his career, which is what you can expect from this guy. 5 points, 5 rebounds, decent enough. So yeah, let's see if any of these guys made the Hall of Fame. I think Dominique probably should. Yeah, okay, so Dominique Wilkins made the Hall of Fame. No surprise there, given his role on our championship teams. And all 3 of those guys are getting their numbers retired for us, which little surprised about like Vlade Divac, a guy who didn't actually do much on the team. Like at least like Eric Gordon scored a lot, but Vlade, I guess just because he was on the team for 12 or how many seasons he was, 17 years or something like that, and won 11 championships. So that's pretty cool. Moving on to player progression, let's see where the guys are at going into this season. And Luka has left the 90 overall club at an 89 overall, and Bosch has dropped down to an 88 as well. These are the three guys that are left, I think. Yeah, I think everyone else is retired now. So it's just these three guys now. I wonder who's going to be the last one standing. Are they all going to go out together? You know, who's to say? We do have some of the guys that we either have drafted or signed over the years now, improving a little bit. So we got another guy who's a decent player, in Tim Hillard. He should be coming off. Well, actually, it looks like he's going to start on this team because he's a shooting guard alongside Luka Doncic. So that's interesting. Yeah, let's see. I mean, I doubt they're going to be as good this year. But maybe they have another championship in them. Let's see. So Kevin Durant said enough about this decline stuff. I'm winning MVP this year, and so it's a big win for him after not winning one for 2 years. Although I don't know if he won the year before that, but anyway, 57-25 this season. So not a great year, but still enough to be first in the East for this team, and still two All-NBA first team guys with Chris Bosh and Kevin Durant. And that's it as far as All-NBA guys go. All defensive first team, Durant is still there. All defensive second team, Bosh is still there. But Luka doesn't get any recognition in the end of season awards, looks like. Again, still the best team in the East. Let's see if that's enough to win a championship this year. Barely ekes it out of the first round against the Atlanta Hawks, and then they're out of the second round again. So I don't know. We might have seen the last championship from this team, especially with Boston being as dominant as they are right now. So let's see if anybody else on this team retired. Could this be the last year for Luka Doncic as he's starting to decline a little bit? I doubt it. I don't see anybody here retiring, except for this guy who is not really a big contender for this team anyway. Yeah, nobody retiring from this team that we care about this year. Let's move on to player progression, see where everyone's at right now. All right, on to player progression, and Durant is starting to decline a little bit now as well, down to a 95. Luka drops to 87, so does Chris Bosh. And again, those are the three guys that are remaining on this team. Let's see how many more years they have left. And none of our guys wins MVP this year again. Once again, you just have to wonder if that was the last MVP for Kevin Durant. And for the first year, unless Steve Nash is the coach of this team, which he might be, I don't know. For the first year, our coach did not win Coach of the Year, looks like. So let's see. Durant was still All-NBA first team. He's got a million of those right now. And that might be it for the end of season awards. Okay, so Bosh got All Defensive first team again as well. But yeah, that's all it was for all end of the year awards. And then we were the second seed in the East this year, winning 55 games. So that's our worst total since the second year, or second or third year we did this. So yeah, they're really starting to decline now. Still good enough for second in the East, which that could get you to the finals and win you a championship. And Boston was a play-in team somehow. They get the Eastern Conference Finals and they get knocked out by the Bulls there, who were the first seed in the East, and the champions are the Portland Trailblazers behind Allen Carroll. So that's the first one from the West we've seen in a little bit, I think. Move on to player retirements. Let's see if our guys are done this season, and doesn't look like it. So they're probably got at least one more year left of this team being around. Let's move on to player progression and see how our guys are doing. And Luka is not even the second best player in the team anymore. He's dropped all the way down to the 4th spot, which is a little surprising. Durant still a 94 overall, which is pretty awesome given the fact he's 37 years old. So longevity definitely a good thing for Durant. Bosh is still up here at 85 overall. But yeah, this team is not looking quite as good as it was before. So let's see what they can do. What might be the last year of this simulation? I don't know. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. All right, looks like Money Man has moved from Boston to Dallas and won MVP there. Let's see what else happened there. As you can see, they were the 5th seed in the conference this year. So the worst finish they've had in a while, it looks like. So I doubt there's going to be any of those awards for these guys. But to Kevin Durant, selecting another All-NBA first-team selection, dude is just continues to be great no matter what happens to this team. Chris Bosh makes the All-NBA 3rd team, which is interesting. And then Durant All-NBA, All-Defensive first team, and Bosh All-Defensive second team. So surprising that Bosh is the one that is continuing to keep this team relevant, except for, like, other than Durant. I thought that, like, Durant and Doncic would be the two carrying this team into the twilight years. But it seems like Bosh is the one who continues to be productive. They make it out of the first round to go up against the Bulls, who they lost to last year. And they go to the finals to win a championship in Game 7 against the Jazz. So they're not done yet. I might have counted them out before, but Durant continues to do Durant things and win championships and finals MVPs. But was that it for him? And it was. So Kevin Durant says he's retired. Now, if the other two guys are not retired yet, I'm going to reverse that decision. Because I want to keep this trio together at least for another season. And yeah, it looks like the other two did not retire. So I am going to override Durant's retirement to keep this team together for one more year. Because I need to see this trio, you know, drive off into the sunset together. I don't want to see, you know, just one of these guys going away, especially since Durant is the best player in the team still, and he's still like a 95 overall. So, like, of the 3 guys who retire, he's the one that I was least, like, not that I was hoping any of them would retire, but he's the one that I wanted to retire the least out of all those guys. So I'm gonna keep the team together for one more season and see what they look like. But yeah, like, the guys are starting to decline for sure. They're in the last year of their deals. I think we can keep it that way because I doubt they're going to have one more year left after what's going on here. So yeah, this is going to be probably the last year of the simulation because if those guys don't retire at the end of the season, I'll probably just skip until they do. So let's move on with what could be probably the last season of this simulation. I know I said that last year, but this is most likely going to be it. Monty Man is just a mercenary at this point. This is his third team he won MVP on. So that's interesting, especially since he was on the Mavericks last season. Let's see. 4th team in the conference this year. Durant continuing to win All-NBA First Team awards. So the dude retired and then came back and won All-NBA First Team. So he definitely had enough left in the tank to be fine. All-NBA awards for the rest of the guys, nothing there. Durant still All-NBA Defensive Team. So a 39-year-old locking down dudes in the NBA is just crazy to me. And then Bosh also winning All-Defensive award there. 4th team in the East. Let's move on through the playoffs, see if they got one more title left in them, and they can't even make it out of the first round. So, like I said, this will likely be it since Durant is for sure retiring. There's nothing I can do to stop that from happening unless he's like, you know what, I was all NBA, but I doubt it. Let's see. Wait a second. Okay, actually, never mind. So I reversed his decision to retire last season, and he's like, you know what? You were right. I should stick around another year. So buckle up. We got at least one more year of this, it looks like. All right, back to player progression. And Durant is still a 90 overall, but Bosh has dropped down to an 80. Luka's not even in the 80 overall club anymore. So yeah, things are starting to get a little bit dire for these guys. So let's see. I did extend all their contracts. Takes a lot less time and there's only 3 of them instead of 10. But yeah, let's go on to I'm not even gonna say it this time. I'm not even gonna say it. This is just the next season. All right, end of this season, and they didn't even make it to the playoffs. 11th in the conference. Not even good enough to make it into the play-in game. So yeah, things are looking like they probably are over for this team. Just check to see. Durant still made All-NBA second team. Even though the team didn't even make the playoffs, still good enough to take him to the second team. All-NBA second team. And even all-defensive first team. So the man at age 40 still just locking down dudes and scoring buckets. There we are. The final 3 left, playing 21 seasons in the NBA, all retiring together at age 40. Let's see. Luka Doncic, what his averages for his career were. So because of the length of his career, you know, he really didn't end up scoring that many points per season, or per game, I mean. Because he had the last, like, 5 seasons of his career all averaging less than 10 points. And because it was such a team effort the whole time, you know, his career averages here are probably a little bit less than what I would have expected. So, you know, about 16 points a game, you know, 6 rebounds, almost 9 assists. That's pretty impressive. Shooting almost 50, 40, 90 for his career, which is also extremely impressive. Durant's numbers will probably look a little bit better because he's more of a scorer on this team, but still only averaging 20 points a game in his career, a lot lower than I would have expected. But once again, he had to, you know, share the ball a lot more with the quality of his teammates. He did end up at 50, 40, 90 for his career. That's awesome. And then Bosh probably won't have the numbers to stand out on the offensive end, although he did average 15 points for his career, which is pretty impressive, given the fact that he wasn't definitely not the first scoring option on the team. But 15, 7 and 3, a block and a steal per game. He was 40% from three for his career. That's pretty impressive as well. So again, almost 50, 40, 90 club for him as well. Let's go back to see their awards and their careers. So this is Luka Doncic's awards. 3-time MVP, 12-time champion, 13-time All-Star, All-NBA first team 5 times, second team twice, and second team defense twice as well. And then you have Durant here. He was an 8-time MVP. So he kind of cemented himself as the real GOAT of the simulation. 21-time All-Star. So with the exception of his rookie season, he made the All-Star game every single year, which is nuts. 17 first team All-NBA awards, 3 times second team All-NBA. This doesn't even show his all-defensive accolades as well. So All-NBA basically every year of his career, which is nuts. And then Chris Bosh, also, you know, I didn't think he would end up, you know, being one of the best players of the simulation either. I thought, you know, Wilkins would be the more impactful player. But once Wilkins left, you know, Bosh really picked up the slack and became, you know, an incredible player. So first team All-NBA 3 times, second and third team All-NBA awards. He was all defensive team a lot. So really great for Chris Bosh, because he didn't even make a All-Star team until, what is that, 11 years into his career, which is nuts. So yeah, basically he had to wait for Wilkins to get out of the way for him to really start showing off what he can do. But yeah, what a career for those guys. Obviously these guys are going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah, so all 3 of them going to the Hall of Fame together. Really nuts. They all played the same number of games together, which is crazy. And then, of course, they're all going to get their jerseys retired as well. So yeah, that's it. Pretty good stretch for those guys. Won a ton of championships. Durant became the new GOAT. So pretty good stuff there. So yeah, let me know if you want to see more of this kind of thing. I got a couple of other ideas in the same vein as this as well. But that's gonna be a wrap for this video and this short 2-part series showing this team that I randomly selected and what they ended up doing. So pretty good stuff there. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys in